Part 2, difference of squares. And what I mean by that is if I have a squared minus b squared, that will factor into the quantity a plus b times the quantity a minus b. Now that's really important, so I'm going to say it one more time. Factoring review part 2, difference of squares. So the difference comes from the subtraction in the original binomial. And then the squares comes from the fact that a squared and b squared are both perfect squares. So a squared minus b squared will factor into the quantity a plus b times the quantity a minus b. So take the square root of the first term, and that's going to be the first term in each set of parentheses, and then take the square root of the second term, and that's going to be the second term in each set of parentheses. Now this only works if we're talking about a difference, so this has to be subtraction, and if we've got squares, so these have to be perfect squares. We're going to do some examples. Our directions are factor completely. So the very first step is to think back to yesterday and to ask yourself if you have a GCF. For this first example, I'm going to factor completely, and the problem is x squared minus 81. There's no GCF. So then I'm going to ask if this is a difference of squares. Well, it's a difference. X squared minus 81, I've got subtraction. And then are we talking about perfect squares? Well, x squared is a perfect square. And 81 is also a perfect square. 81 can be rewritten as 9 squared. So yes, I do have the difference of squares. So I'll use my rule. A plus b, a minus b. So that becomes x plus 9. And x minus 9. Okay, so let's see. Is there a GCF? There is not. Is it a difference? Am I subtracting? Yes. So I've got 25 minus y squared. Trying to factor completely. 25 minus y squared. It is a difference. So are these both perfect squares? Well, 25 is 5 squared. And of course, y squared is also a perfect square. So using the rule, 5 squared minus y squared, a squared minus b squared. So we can split that into 5 plus y times 5 minus y. So those are my first two examples for a difference of squares. Let's take a look at a couple more. So we've got 16x squared minus 49, and then I've got 81w squared plus 100. So for 16x squared minus 49, 16x squared, is that expression a perfect square? And then 49, is that a perfect square? Well, 49 is 7 squared, and 16x squared is the square of 4x, because 4 squared is 16, and x squared is, of course, x squared. So 16x squared is a perfect square. Its square root is 4x. 49 is a perfect square. Its square root is 7. So this expression, 16x squared minus 49, I can rewrite it as the quantity 4x squared minus 7 squared. Once again, I have a difference. I'm subtracting two perfect squares. So I can split this into a plus b and a minus b. Or in this case, it's a squared and b squared. So a is 4x, that's the square root of the first term. B is 7, that's the square root of the second term. a plus b, a minus b. It factors into 4x plus 7 times 4x minus 7. Here, you might be inclined to say, oh, well, this is a perfect square. This is 9w to the second power. And you might notice, oh, this is a perfect square, 100. Well, that's 10 to the second power. However, remember the topic, difference of squares, a squared minus b squared. What we have here is a sum. We have a squared plus b squared. Since this is a sum of perfect squares instead of a difference, that means that the original binomial is prime. I cannot factor this. It does not have a GCF, and it's not a difference of squares, it's a sum of squares. So if you ever notice an addition symbol, we got to be careful. We're going to look at that being prime. For r squared minus 20, we don't have a GCF, so you can start asking yourself, is this a difference? Yes, I'm subtracting. Do we have two perfect squares? Well, remember your perfect squares are 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25, etc. Now, 20 is not on that list. It's a little bit bigger than 4 squared and a little bit smaller than 5 squared. So since 20 is not a perfect square, 20 isn't a perfect square. That means that this original r squared minus 20, now that's going to be prime. So the topic is very important. It has to be a difference, and you have to have squares. Difference of squares. Sum of squares is prime. Difference, but not both squares, that's going to be prime. You can't factor it. Okay. So how about 36 minus 25z squared? Well, now I have a difference, right? So are these perfect squares? Well, 36 is a perfect square. 36 is 6 squared. And this second term is also a perfect square. This second term is the quantity 5z squared. 5 times 5 is 25. Z times z is z squared. So 6 squared minus 5z squared. So we factor that into a plus b. 6 plus 5z times a minus b. 6 minus 5z. Okay, 2 more examples. I have negative 8x squared plus 50. And finally, 4c squared minus 36. So as usual, I'm going to save the best for last, 2 of the more interesting examples. So initially, when I look at this problem, you have to remember the very first thing you need to do is find a greatest common factor if there is one. Now, I realize this looks like a sum, but something that's really interesting to me is that I have a negative here. And so if I wanted to, I could rewrite this as 50 plus a negative 8x squared, or 50 minus 8x squared. So there's a way that we can view this as if there might be an element of subtraction there. The way I'm going to approach it is to remember GCFs. So looking at both of these terms, I can see they're both even, and that in fact 2 is the greatest common factor. But since I want this to be a subtraction sign, and I want this to be positive in order to factor, instead of factoring out a positive 2, I'm going to factor out a negative 2. Now, what will that leave me with? Well, negative 2 times 4 would get me back to negative 8, and I'll need an x squared for that first term. Negative 2 times 4x squared would be a negative 8x squared. And then negative 2 times what would give me this plus 50? Well, that's going to be a minus 25. So now, since I factored out a negative, now I do have a difference. The only question is, are these perfect squares? Well, 4x squared is 2x times 2x, and 25 is 5 times 5. So this becomes negative 2 times the quantity, 2x squared minus 5 squared. Leave the negative 2 out front, that's your leading coefficient. And since I have the difference of two perfect squares, a squared minus b squared, that equals a plus b times a minus b. So my answer would be negative 2 times 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. One of the reasons we have to be really careful to take out the GCF first is we want to have the expression completely factored. So there's two ways to do this problem, and I'm going to show you the wrong way, and then I'm going to show you the right way. So the wrong way to do this problem is to say, oh, this is 2c squared minus 6 squared, and then you split that into 2c minus 6 and 2c plus 6. That is incorrect. That is wrong. And the reason that is wrong is that 2c minus 6 has a GCF of 2, and 2c plus 6 also has a GCF of 2. So this is not completely factored. This still could be factored further. So you don't want to jump in like that. The first question you have to ask yourself is, do I have a greatest common factor? And in this case, the answer is yes, my greatest common factor is 4. So when I remove a 4, I'm left with, well, 4 times c squared gives me c squared, and 4 times a minus 9 will get me that minus 36. Now I can notice, okay, I've got my GCF taken out, so now I'm going to look for a difference of perfect squares. Sure enough, 9 is a perfect square. Good news, here I'm subtracting. So then I will go ahead and use my, my difference of squares rule. Leave the coefficient out front, and your answer will be 4 times the quantity c plus 3 times the quantity c minus 3. And if you pulled a 2 out of both of these, you would get the same thing, but you'd probably forget to do it. So always, always, always look for that GCF. Look for that GCF. I'm going to go ahead and just box up my answers here. Make sure you remember to look for the GCF. Make sure you're looking for a difference of squares and that you're using this rule correctly. As always, if you need to rewatch the video,